And this is Election Brief with me, Ibrahim. Over the next half hour, we'll bring you stories from across the political divide. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Election Headquarters for an informed electorate. Please do stay for details. Leading member of the governing New Patriotic Party, who is also an advisor on NPP's Manifesto Committee, Kwame Pienim wants Ghanaians to give Dr. Bamumia a chance to serve Ghana as president. Kwame Pienim says Dr. Bamumia has proven he can't develop the country, a reason he's advocating for a chance to prove his worth. He spoke to Benjamin Akakbo on the AM show.
The mate analogy was the wrong one. Ghanaians understand soccer. The
analogy was wrong?
Was wrong. You see, on a football team, there's only one captain, correct? You can't have two captains. Bamumia came to support Nana Akufo-Addo to achieve his dreams and his visions. He laid aside his own personal ambitions, his own dreams, his ideas to support Nana to succeed. He is hoping that the vice president he will pick will also submerge all his ambitions to support him to achieve his own dreams. Let's get Bamumia to come to Ghanaians and say, this is what I want to achieve, my vision. Give me the opportunity. You haven't seen me before as number one. And let's see what he's capable of doing. We've seen what President Mahama can do. He's been president before. So let's give him a chance. Let him come and say, this is my dream. And then let's see, okay, is that correct? Whatever he said in the past, forget it. He was helping his boss achieve his dreams. Now,
while he was in the economic management team, whether conventionally or otherwise, heading the team, being touted. You know, if you take as a leader, it is said that if you take the good, you must also be willing to take the bad.
Sure.
So when times were rosy, you touted the economic management team. You said you were doing this and doing that. And the president also said that. But now, all of a sudden, the wrong things, you're trying to detach yourself from them.
No, I don't.
What does that make you?
I don't think Bamumia is trying to detach himself from it. The message I get from Dr. Bamumia is that, look, I was helping my president. President has a lot of advisors, colleague presidents, his own family, members of cabinet. You are the vice president, you chair the economic management team. You know, it's not advisory. Everybody in Ghana is an advisor to the president. But the job of the vice president is chairman of the police council. So security is part of you. Chairman of the economic management team is part of you, it's part of your job. But in spite of that, you don't take decisions and implement them. You are supporting the president. So whatever the president decides, that is what I'm doing, that's what he's doing. So let's give Bamumia the benefit of the doubt. That what he's saying is not that, this thing is succeeding and therefore I was there. The economy is not succeeding, I'm not there. I don't think that's what he's saying. He said, you will never see me as number one on my own team. Give me an opportunity and see.
Kwame Pienim is also asking former President John Mahama to carefully define his 24-hour economy mantra and explain how it will be implemented.
We don't even have electricity for one shift. Where are we going to get electricity for 3 shifts? We started the idea of a
we don't have excess power anymore. You started by talking about the independent power producers and all that. We are not maximizing the power.
We started a 24-hour economy. I was Minister of Finance. We told PWD, all the repairs, you do it in the night, okay? The traffic will move. When they started doing that, the managers were refusing to go and so I didn't have electricity to go around, don't have the security to go around. Okay, so let's think through everything carefully and say, what can we do now? You know, some of the ideas that Bamumia is coming up with, value addition and all that. Let's give him a chance.
So you're talking about Mahama's 24-hour policy, and you say it's not practical, it can't be executed?
I'm not saying that we don't have details. There's nowhere in the world where there's a 24
some details about
24-hour economy.
Incentivizing the system, electricity, and all of that.
Look, in the US, New York, the whole city, there's a 24-hour economy. Where?
True.
Times Square only.
True.
People need places where it's quiet, where they can sleep. You go to California, Los Angeles, there's a 24-hour economy. Where? A special place. So in Ghana, you can create a 24-hour economy somewhere.
Right.
I don't want a 24-hour economy next door to me. I need to sleep 8 hours to be able to go and work.
But okay. I don't think that is what has been said, that is going to be everywhere at the same time. That's not what has been said. It's said that they will target specific areas.
Yeah, but I think that, politicians give Jimmy to say, want more details.
Right.
If it's good for us, it doesn't matter what is President Mahama who brings the idea of 24-hour economy.
Right.
Or Bamumia, whoever becomes president, will implement.
Right.
If it's good for us. We need stable electricity for 8 hours, one shift. If the power is there, we need people to have 3 shifts.
Right.
You create jobs, that's fine. Want to intensify production, we have to review the tax system so that, we promised to have a production economy and move away from tax.
A group calling itself Alliance for Foot Soldiers Advocacy are calling on President Ofori Atta to revoke what they describe as the face-saving appointment of Ofori Atta in the interest of the nation. In a statement issued and signed by the executive members, they questioned why Ofori Atta, who performed abysmally at the Finance Ministry, should now be given such an appointment. They have described the move as a slap in the face of the electorates, adding refusal of the president to listen to the electorates will make it difficult for Dr. Bamumia to win the December 7 elections. Excerpts of that release reads, and I'll be sharing excerpts of that with you shortly on the screens, but I've been joined by Kamaldeen Ibrahim, who is spokesperson for the group. Kamal, grateful for your time. On what basis are you describing the appointment of Ofori Atta as a slap in the face of the electorate?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Our reason has to do with that Ken has been,
and then we feel like just as he had the opportunity to steer his affairs without any interference from any contest, he equally should also, like the new minister appointed, should equally have that free role to also operate, devoid of any unforeseen interferences, because we all know the sort of relationship Ken Ofori Atta has with the president. Therefore, we see to it that the kind of position being given to him is kind of giving the finance minister, the newly appointed finance minister, the position with the right hand, and as well taking it with the left hand. So it is based on this that we sat and did the analysis and decided to release the statement that Mr. President should kindly relieve Ofori Atta of his position.
And you think that you foresee that he will interfere in the affairs of the newly appointed minister? Is that what you're saying?
Rightfully so, because we know the kind of personality Ken is when it comes to this government. No, we will not belittle his role in this government. Now, when we all know when they say someone is a special envoy, imagine Ken going to represent the country elsewhere and then espousing his view, which is contrary to what the finance minister agrees to. You can see the kind of friction that will come out with. Even the flag bearer, our flag bearer now, Dr. Bamumia, from his vision statement he read, you could clearly see that he's opposed to the e-levy. But we all know Ofori Atta pushed the e-levy. Therefore, we don't want to have set things, especially in this election year. That's why we want things to run smoothly. After all, we doubt ourselves that we have the men. So if you have the men, how come do we want to be seen as though we are struggling to get people to replace? Granted, that position is even something for someone to occupy. Though we all know that's a position created by the president. So if you even want to appoint someone, it shouldn't be Ken again. Ken is the only finance minister where you have MPs of his own party rise up against him that he should be sacked. And the president had to stagger the process for a time before doing this and finally relieving him of his position. Therefore, we don't want things of such nature to recur. That's how come we are just pleading with Mr. President. He's the chief appointer. We all know that he holds the power, but the Constitution as well says that that power should not be used arbitrarily or capriciously. That's how come we are pleading as the chief appointer that he should have a second look at the appointment and revoke it.
What makes you think he's using his power capriciously? Ken Ofori Atta is a citizen of Ghana, and if the president finds him appropriate for any position, he can do so.
I don't think I accuse the president of using his powers capriciously. Other than that, perhaps we wouldn't have written a statement out there pleading with him that he should revoke. We are representing the grassroots. So what if you are a party person, this appointment does not resonate with the grassroots. That's a fact. And even the rank and file of the party. Just that as AFA, we've taken it upon ourselves to speak for the voiceless within the party. And that is what we are doing. So we are just pleading and saying, the word I continue to use is plead. So I'm not accusing the president of using his power capriciously. That's what I want to correct there.
In your release, you indicated that if the president doesn't listen to the electorate, it has the tendency of affecting Dr. Bamumia's campaign. What has this got to do with Dr. Bamumia?
There's no economy. You can run without the finance minister being a key part of that economy. Everything basically boils down to him. So if the finance ministry is going to be having issues based on another appointment, we all know that when you even take a certain, let me create a scenario for you to understand. We have some personalities who are hosting programs like yourself. If they take you there to go and partner someone, the person will know based on your clout that you are he or she is basically being sacked indirectly. So if the finance ministry is also having someone who is going to be controlling and they are going to have issues, definitely the final person to bear the brand is the person we are taking for the election, and that is Dr. Bamumia. That is why this year is critical. We've been ambitious. The party has been very, very ambitious that we want to break the 8. Therefore, we should do things that will not feed into people's perception that maybe perhaps we are running family and friends government. Because why? If Ken has been given 7 years and he served, I don't think giving him appointment for 10 months will suffice anything.
Have you petitioned the president yet?
Officially not yet, but we are in the process.
So what next? In fact, you are in the process means that you're going to petition him today, tomorrow, when?
It's not easy to get the first gentleman of the land. You have to book an appointment. You have to use every appropriate channel to get access to him. So that is what we are doing.
And what next for your group if the president refuses to heed to your demands? Remember, it hasn't been easy for the MPs that you yourself indicate from Parliament to get Ken Ofori Atta out. That wasn't an easy task. This doesn't look like an easy one.
Well, what we are forgetting is that when a leader is to take decisions, sometimes it doesn't mean necessarily he must take an immediate decision. So when we are calling on him, perhaps he might not do it today or tomorrow, but subsequently he will do it. Just like the reshuffle when we started calling for it. We've seen it happen. So part of leadership not to exhibit weakness doesn't mean that if anybody just gets up to say something, no, you have to act today or tomorrow. But it can even take a week or a month, and that appointment can be revoked. What we have done is to set the tone that Mr. President, as for this appointment, it is an unpopular within the rank and file of the party. We should have a second relook of that appointment.
And you say that it's not, he doesn't necessarily have to take the decision now, but does he have that luxury of time? We have just, about 10 months to go for elections, and you don't want this decision to affect Dr. Bamumia.
Then what I said is that the fact that the president might not take the decision today or tomorrow doesn't mean in a week's time he wouldn't take the decision. He has the final say, but we know sooner than later Mr. President will act. Because if really we mean business that want to break the 8, Ken is unpopular, let's put it that way, to the extent that if his own MPs have rose against him, that should tell you that even within the party, he's not that popular with the party. Then if we are having issues with him even within, how much more do we expect people outside to accept him? And the market also builds on confidence. So if you bring somebody who already held that position and people are not too much confident, kind of lost confidence in him, that person cannot be seen to be your envoy again, kind of representing you outside. When the finance minister is there, so supposing there's a meeting, international meeting, who goes there? The president will ask the finance minister as a special envoy. And if they are they going in unison, as in having one mind, or when they get there and they have divergent views, whose view will it be taken on board? These are the things, unforeseen things we are trying to envisage, to say that, look, we don't want to get there where it will become something in the public.
Right, Ibrahim Kamaldeen is spokesperson for Alliance for Foot Soldiers Advocacy. They want President Ofori Atta to revoke the appointment of Ken Ofori Atta. They say that if he doesn't listen to the electorate, it will affect the chances of Dr. Bamumia. This is your election brief. The Yagbonwura B. Kununtu Jewu Swale is encouraging John Mahama and Dr. Bamumia to prove to the country that the people of the northern region are peace-loving. This is because the flag bearers of the two main political parties in the 2024 elections are persons of northern descent. The traditional authority sees this as historic, hence the need for a peaceful process. Nanaya Ojima has more.
Before we left office, we took a loan agreement to Parliament to create a water supply project for Damango. Our friends opposite opposed it and said that they will be coming into government. They are sure they will win the election. And that when they win, they will come and do the water project. For 8 years now, the people of Damango are thirsty. You don't have water to drink. What amount of money is better than having your own water supply system that will make sure that you get good water to drink? If you go to the hospital today, the majority of cases are typhoid cases, and that is because of polluted water. If not for Galus, who's brought a water tanker, and is supplying clean drinking water from place to place, most of us would have been in hospital today. It is easy to create a region, but a region must have certain things to be called a region. The 6 regions that were created, they were created just in name. But the things that should go so that when you enter the region, you know this is a region, are still not there. And I can assure you that not only for Savannah region, but for all the 6 newly created regions, if NDC comes into power, the things that you need to be called regions, we will make sure that we provide them.
Flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says the 6 new regions created under the Kufuor government exists only in name. According to him, the necessary development that should be noticed in the regions is yet to be done. Speaking at a meeting with traditional authorities at the Jakpa Palace, John Mahama made a solemn promise to the people of his willingness to ensure the development of the new regions. Nanaya Ojima toured the Savannah region with the NDC flag bearer and has filed this report.
The Building Ghana tour of the NDC aims at taking concerns of the public to feed into the party's manifesto for the upcoming election. The tour of the Savannah region made its first stop at the Jakpa Palace, where there was a meeting with the Yagbonwura and Savannah Regional House of Chiefs. Yagbonwura B. Kununta Jewu Sali I admonished the former president to prioritize issues of underdevelopment, poverty, and unemployment among the youth. A speech was read on his behalf.
I dare say that 3 problems come immediately for mention. The first of them being poverty, general poverty, countrywide poverty, followed by youth unemployment, and finally, by underemployment, particularly in the public service. These three problems, I beg to state, should be given due attention when you come back to power.
The NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, expressed disappointment over the failure of the NPP administration to develop the 6 new regions. He says the Savannah region is no exception.
It is easy to create a region, but a region must have certain things to be called a region. The 6 regions that were created, they were created just in name. But the things that should go so that when you enter the region, you know this is a region, are still not there. And I can assure you that not only for Savannah region, but for all the 6 newly created regions, if NDC comes into power, the things that you need to be called regions, we will make sure that we provide them.
Meanwhile, the NDC flag bearer has bemoaned the failure of the NPP government to deal with inadequate water supply for the Savannah region. He explained previous NDC administration had made steps to construct a water supply system for the people.
Before we left office, we took a loan agreement to Parliament to create a water supply project for Damango. Our friends opposite opposed it and said that they will be coming into government. They are sure they will win the election. And that when they win, they will come and do the water project. For 8 years now, the people of Damango are thirsty. You don't have water to drink.
Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogo John Jinapo says the National Democratic Congress is bent on wresting from the NPP all 3 parliamentary seats in the Savannah region, including the Damango constituency, which is held by his brother. The New Patriotic Party in 2020 won 3 out of the 7 seats in that region. The former energy minister believes the ability of the NDC presidential candidate to win in the constituencies proved the superiority of the party in these places. Though there is an admission of enormity of the task ahead, Mr. Jinapo says the NDC is correcting the wrongs in the previous elections for the task. The MP spoke to Nana Ojima on the sidelines of building Ghana tour of the Savannah region.
Well, the results will tell you that in almost all the constituencies, President Mahama won the seats, which tells you that some people voted for President Mahama but voted for an opposition candidate. And so some of them are partly due to some internal friction, internal wranglings, and also the need to beef up our communication. We've done a lot of work. We are determined to wrestle the 3 that we lost and also to keep the 4 that we won. It's not an easy task, and that's what I was telling them, that this victory, though certain, is not going to be guaranteed on a silver platter, and that we have to work to secure the ballots and ensure that we capture all the 7 seats. And that is what we are determined. And looking at the candidates we have, I'm confident that they will be able to live up to expectation.
Talking about Damango constituency itself, the person holding it is very strong in the New Patriotic Party. He is the minister in charge of lands and natural resources. Before becoming a minister, he was a deputy chief of staff. That makes him very, very instrumental in the New Patriotic Party. And your brother, don't you think that he's too strong for the NDC to just unseat him?
Yeah, that's what I said, that it's going to take a lot of effort. And it's important that we all acknowledge the strengths you are talking about, which means that it will require a lot more effort to achieve your aim and objective. And I'm sure that that is not oblivious to the NDC. And so we'll do everything possible. It's about communication, it's about working with the people, it's about messaging, and also uniting, especially within the rank and file of the NDC. And so we'll put up a very good show, we'll put up a good fight. We are leaving no stone unturned. We are determined to target all the seats. We are not ceding or yielding any seats, and we leave the rest to God.
It's time now for Voters' Voice for Veno. Watch this.
John Mahama, no. Nanka so amanu mu edin. Nti anka we no me agenkwa e de magana fo. Saa o mukura de o mbebu yen asa bra esu nkura se kawanu tumo. Men kasa. Ye fi so omu ye ayi omu ye kronkronkron. Saa na o mukura de omu nya baako si. If you say first no mitimi yi to ho asa na makọ adwuma. And then me work on half. Maka kire me remember say me kwa me the balance no e be sende o. Ye mako ho masa. Be ma enhwe yire ne masa. First no me yi to ho a na me kọ madwuma me tu moto a me ba madwuma mu. Ba ne say me work on 100 cedi a me man 40 50 me say na aka no. And kwa say twe me saa ansa na balance na akọ.
I'm a Ghanaian citizen. Now we are now going to election 2024 election. Yes. But me part the me feel say me person me to my ba Emma other two parties na minimum so really on my way. The person me to my ba ma mu ba ko. Peaceful, serious. Manya sumdwie since 8 years past Mahama former President Mahama regime. Manya peace up to 8 years me work Ghana aminya basa biansi o man we mu ama stay me da won live o man we mu. O mu say o man ni mu ayedin. Bread ye. Say ye bre omanimu ayeden nanso niam bi wo ha ye hu se yempanimfo ne de tutu akwam kakra ba emu epejaba ndi so omkoso ama ne koso kọ nanim dia menim se sakra ebeba ma anya asumdwe ti media 2024 no menim se bra ye bre na to ebetwa na se ebekofom
aboso no ama empanimfo no omba omse ombewe eso no ombatena so a ana omura feed ombe no na omo enye saade no emma ye Ntama abaneto no aye bibia ho
2024 de na aye die adegon if you say youth no kra no omo hwe ya ware no omo hwe yen se na ne yen ne mba esi live na omo so ware na nipa no onam ankonam kra no na dide kra e de ma no oye de kofo biba beka no na one ne ware enti in fact na aye ni de adegon and emenya ka mesa back to back no from John Mahama no onu mo ye better than this man.
Okay, but Akufo de oba en de me hu de wire but Mahama so de on say na abaye blade ne ne kwan ne ba Akufo de ba de me hu de wire patin
this year to ya bam pm beside the MPP amenim say enkunimde betima aba maye ama future no you believe correct eno ne me issue am feel say metoma aba de ama MPP for the next 4 years I was say me feel say mom say to aso biem because o ma bebo ama asumdwe de amenim say o mama ho kire ne de ho ba eni ba bia o ba sorry o ba bia anya Ghana nko na this time me feel say ye ho ye den e kire ye ti me wogidie o mu say so for us ye tena o manimu in peaceful ne de ye koso am tumi a 2024 no me say niam ba den e be sesa.
This is Election Brief on Election Headquarters on the Joy News channel. Election Headquarters for an informed electorate. Enjoy the rest of our programs.